As Holden walked through the shining halls of the Dominator, the crew stepped aside and saluted their legendary commander. His victories against the Castellan and Rhython had secured Earth's borders and brought multiple resource colonies under Terran control. But Holden was not content with simple expansion to fulfill Earth's true destiny. He believed the stars themselves must fall under human rule, and he would be the force to make it happen when he reached the bridge. Holden studied the glowing three-dimensional map of the known galaxy. Hundreds of worlds spun in that projection, many still unexplored, his eyes fixed on one target. The Hyperion system, rich in minerals and strategically vital, set course for the Hyperion cluster. "Maximum warp," he said calmly at once. Navigators plotted the jump and engineers poured auxiliary power into the drives. The Dominator and its escorts vanished into hyperspace, streaking toward a new conquest. On the third planet of Hyperion, the locals, called the Parians, were known as clever traders. They dealt in exotic tech and rare minerals mined from dangerous terrain and swirling gas giants under the watch of a small space defense fleet. The Parians thrived by staying neutral in galactic politics. But their wealth and position had drawn Holden's eye when the Dominator dropped from hyperspace. The Parian patrols were slow to react. 3 light frigates drifted at the edge of the system, unaware of the storm descending upon them. Holden wasted no time. He sent a demand surrender and accept Earth's rule or face destruction. The Parians replied quickly, polite yet firm. They would not abandon their principles or sovereignty. They asked the Terran fleet to leave in peace. Holden's expression hardened their naivety. Insulted him, they thought trade and diplomacy could stand against Terran steel. He would show them their mistake. "All ships lock weapons, prepare to fire," he ordered. "When I give the signal, remove all resistance with one brutal strike." Holden's fleet began the subjugation of Hyperion defensive platforms, and ships were torn apart within minutes. Chaos erupted across the planet as fire rained from the skies. The Trade Council pleaded for mercy. Too late, Holden responded with a second ultimatum: swear loyalty to Terra or face total conquest. They refused again, insisting on independence and neutrality. Holden delivered a final warning: you have 1 solar day to surrender, or we unleash the full power of the Terran fleet. When the deadline passed with no surrender, the skies lit up again. Orbital strikes shattered factories and cities. Soldiers descended in waves, capturing power plants, starports, and key infrastructure. Within hours, Earth held the system. Holden halted the bombardment once the capital fell. His point had been made without unnecessary bloodshed. Messenger ships flew out to nearby systems carrying news of Hyperion's fall. Earth had claimed it completely and without apology. Now any system that resisted would face the same fate. As the Dominator rose from the ravaged world below, Holden felt a deep satisfaction. His expansion campaign was proving unstoppable, but this was not enough. Nearby systems rushed to declare loyalty to Terra, hoping to avoid invasion. They sent minerals, troops, and oaths of allegiance. Holden received their surrender with calm approval, but he remained restless. One victory could not fulfill his ambition. Holden wanted ultimate military control over every spacefaring species. He needed more victories, more displays of overwhelming power. In a meeting with High Command, Holden brought up the Castellan, the ones who had sparked the first war. They had been repelled, but never punished. They may be regrouping, preparing to strike again. Holden suggested a direct assault. Their military infrastructure would be demolished. Their system added to Earth's domain. The officers agreed. Destroying the Castellan would eliminate future threats and add valuable territory to the Terran Empire. The galaxy was now theirs to reshape. Holden would leave no threat uncrushed. He studied the glowing star map again. Hyperspace lanes stretched across unknown regions beyond the edge of Earth's domain. Lay more worlds ready to witness Terran power in a war council with Fleet Marshal Talia and Admiral Karn. Holden laid out his next plan: simultaneous invasions across multiple sectors. Here, here, and here. He gestured over the maps. Rapid strikes would collapse resistance within a year and bring vast new space under Terra's rule. Talia and Karn hesitated. The operation was huge, risky, and could overextend their strength, but none dared question Holden. His authority came straight from Earth's Senate, and his track record was undeniable. After short debate, they agreed with conditions about resupply and reserves. Holden nodded respectfully, though he privately dismissed their concerns in war. Bold moves, won empires, caution lost them. The preparations began instantly. Shipyards ran non-stop, building warships and troop carriers. Factories churned out weapons, plasma torpedoes, kinetic slugs, and nano-munitions. New recruits flooded the fleet while veterans drilled relentlessly. Soon hundreds of thousands stood ready to strike across the stars. At the head of it all was the Dominator and its ruthless commander, Holden, ready to lead history's most daring campaign. On the eve of invasion, Holden stood alone in the command spire watching the massive fleet assemble. Its firepower blazed through armored viewports, and he felt his blood ignite. Everything was ready now. Nothing could stop them. He activated the fleet-wide transmission. "This is Commander Holden today. Begins a new era. We bring Earth's rightful rule to the sectors beyond where only chaos has reigned. No power will stand against us for the glory of Terra." Thousands of drives flared to life, hurling the armada into the void. Their goal was clear: total conquest and absolute control over every world they touched. None would escape the coming storm. Earth's age of domination had begun.